You are not waiting for healing, you are broadcasting the frequency of waiting. In the next few minutes, you will learn how to interrupt this invisible command and feel, in your own body, the exact vibration where it's settled. There is a language you speak every single day without even realizing it, not through words, but through the frequency your nervous system translates as a command. As long as that frequency remains active, your body responds by maintaining the current state, not by regenerating. Every morning you check your symptoms, every inner thought you repeat about slow progress. You renew the contract with the very state you want to leave behind. Pausing this video now means continuing to broadcast that signal for the next days, months, or even years, without even knowing you're doing it. What you're about to discover is not a theory about healing. It's the exact mechanism that keeps illness in a chronic loop through your own perception. Get ready to understand how the body reads your waiting as a threat, and why healing only begins when you let go of time. This command is vibrational. It operates below your conscious awareness, but above your body's ability to ignore it. Chronic illness doesn't happen because your body failed. It happens because your body is following orders. Every check, every measurement, every thought about how much longer it will take translates into frequency. And frequency doesn't carry intention. It only carries signal. The body doesn't interpret what you meant to say. It simply responds to what you're broadcasting. That's the part that is rarely considered. Chronic illness is not a biological sentence. It's a contract being renewed. By the end of this video, you will have a precise somatic method to cancel that contract. This is not about visualizations. These are not affirmations. It is a physical sequence of interruption, a gesture that the body recognizes as permission to stop obeying time and begin responding to presence. What you are about to learn is rooted both in the oldest traditions and in the most recent discoveries about how the nervous system truly works. The Emerald Tablet already described the body as a mirror. Everything that settles in the inner field manifests in the outer field. Matter doesn't lead, it follows. Shamanic healers from different cultures operated outside the ordinary perception of time, precisely because they knew that regeneration doesn't happen along the timeline, but in its collapse. They induced states where the past no longer informed the present, and the future no longer delayed healing. Stephen Porges, in mapping the autonomic nervous system, revealed the mechanism behind this: neuroception. Your body detects safety or threat even before you become aware of it, and it detects through repeated patterns. Bruce Lipton demonstrated that gene expression responds instantly to the environment as perceived by the cells, not the actual environment, but the one that is perceived. Quantum physics brought the final confirmation: the act of observing changes what is being observed. When you measure your symptoms, you collapse the possibility of instant healing and lock the result into linear time. Alchemy called this fixation into lead-dense matter only transmutes when you remove the attention that sustains it as identity. What all these traditions reveal is the same. Chronic illness is vibrational loyalty to an invisible belief. The cycle begins even before you open your eyes. Still lying down in those first moments of waking, your attention automatically shifts to your body, but not in a neutral way. It scans, it investigates, it looks for signs. This scan isn't contemplative, it's strategic. Your nervous system interprets it as a threat check, and the act of checking keeps the alert state active. The body doesn't know that you're just observing. To the body, observing means monitoring, and monitoring means vigilance. Neuroception, that internal radar operating before conscious awareness, registers this pattern every single day. Waking up, checking, confirming that the symptom is still there. And each confirmation is read as validation that the current state is the safe one. Not because it's comfortable, but because it's familiar. The nervous system is wired to prioritize predictability. Sudden change is perceived as risk. That's why staying sick in a familiar way feels safer than regenerating in an unknown one. When you mentally repeat phrases like this, "Is still going to take time," or "I'm getting better slowly," you're not just describing, you're co-creating a timeline that your body is required to follow. These phrases create an expectation horizon, and the body adjusts its chemistry to match the schedule you've set. If you keep saying recovery will take months, your cells receive permission to regenerate only within that time frame. Identifying with the healing process rather than with healing itself keeps you inside the process indefinitely, because identity generates continuity. If you are someone who is in the process of healing, then you must continue healing in order to continue being who you believe you are. The self built around the recovery journey depends on that journey in order to exist. The problem isn't believing in healing. The problem is believing that healing must be waited for. That waiting is not passive, it is active. It's a frequency that renews itself with every thought, every check, every conversation in which you explain how far there still is to go. And as long as that frequency remains active, the body will keep translating it into permanence. Modern medicine taught your body to heal on a schedule, appointments spaced weeks apart, prognoses measured in months, recoveries counted in 6, 9, or 12-week cycles. This temporal training is not neutral. It conditions the nervous system to operate within an artificial timeline, where regeneration must respect external stages. And the body, ever obedient, adjusts its internal rhythm to match the pace it was told to follow. The problem is that cells don't actually need that much time. They respond to the perceived environment, not the real one. If you believe that healing takes 3 months, your cells receive permission to regenerate only 3 months from now. Not because biology requires that amount of time, but because perception established it as truth. Epigenetics confirms this. Gene expression changes instantly in response to the internal state. But as long as you hold the belief that it's not time yet, your cells will keep waiting. Waiting, then, is not a harmless pause. It is a vibration of suspension, and suspension to the nervous system is registered as a subtle threat. Not a clear threat that triggers fight or flight, but a background alert that keeps the body in a continuous state of readiness. You are not relaxed while you wait. You are monitoring, and that monitoring prevents the body from entering the state where deep regeneration can actually happen. While you wait, the sympathetic branch of your nervous system remains partially active, cortisol and adrenaline circulating at low but steady levels. This blocks access to the ventral parasympathetic state, the place where the body can finally repair tissue, reorganize structures, and restore function. Hugh Milne demonstrated that true internal reorganization only occurs when there is a felt sense of absolute safety. Not safety as a thought, but safety as a sensation. And while you're waiting, the body does not feel safe, it feels suspended. Shamanic traditions used trance states precisely to deactivate the inner watcher and allow the body to access its original regenerative intelligence. In those states, subjective time disappeared, and with it, the waiting. What these practices reveal is that waiting is not a virtue. It is not confident patience. It is vigilance disguised as acceptance. And as long as that vigilance is active, healing remains postponed. There is a gesture your body remembers, but your mind has forgotten. It's not symbolic, it's functional. Certain healing traditions have long known that specific physical gestures carry vibrational, codes capable of reconfiguring internal frequencies. The craniosacral approach demonstrates this. Subtle touches on neural points reorganize deeply embedded tension patterns in the nervous system. What you are about to learn is a precise interruption sequence, not a visualization, but an ancient technology applied to the body. The first point is the area between the sternum and the diaphragm, the solar plexus. This is the place where unspoken emotional contracts are stored, the seat of manifesting will. Place the palm of your hand gently over this point and exhale in a long, conscious breath. During the exhale, clearly think the phrase, "I interrupt the waiting." This is not a generic positive affirmation. It is a direct vibrational cancellation. The exhale sends a signal to your nervous system that something is being released, not repressed. This simple gesture deactivates the vigilant circuit that was keeping the waiting state active. The long breath signals to the body that there is no threat. The conscious touch anchors the instruction in the somatic field, and the precise verbal command, "I interrupt," the waiting cancels the contract that had been renewed day after day. The body doesn't question, it responds. And the response is immediate. A sensation of expansion, of release, of something that had been contracted finally letting go. The second point is the hard palate, the central part of the roof of the mouth. This is a craniosacral point directly connected to the vagus nerve and the central axis of the nervous system. Gently touch it with the tip of your tongue while thinking, "I allow my body to return to its original intelligence." This sequence deactivates sympathetic vigilance and invites the ventral parasympathetic state to take over. It is the shift from a state of threat to a state of regeneration. The entire practice takes less than 3 minutes, but it operates outside of time. Because you're not doing it to heal. You are undoing the vibration that prevents healing from manifesting. It's not about speeding up a process. It's about removing the block that has kept the process suspended. Once the body receives vibrational permission to stop waiting, it can finally access the state that was always available, but remained out of reach while the frequency of waiting was still active. Lynn was 53 years old when she realized that her entire identity had been built around the chronic lower back pain she'd been carrying for nearly a decade. Every morning, before even getting out of bed, her first action was to test. Slowly move her legs, feel the weight, assess the stiffness. The checking became a ritual, and the ritual became who she was. When someone asked how she was doing, the response came automatically, getting better, slowly. These things take time. Medicine had established a timeline, 6 months of physical therapy, possible surgery if there was no progress, recovery expected in 1 year. Lynn followed every step with discipline, but the pain remained. It didn't get worse. It didn't get better. It was simply there, loyal like a shadow. She didn't realize that by measuring the pain every day, she was sending the body the command to remain in that state. She didn't know that by repeating this takes time, she was installing a timeline that her cells were following. When she performed the ritual for the first time, she expected nothing more than just another technique that might bring a few hours of relief. She touched her solar plexus, exhaled slowly, and mentally repeated, "I interrupt the waiting." Then, tongue to the hard palate, "I allow my body to return to its original intelligence." 3 minutes. Nothing extraordinary happened in that moment. But the next morning, upon waking, she noticed something unusual she hadn't checked. She simply got up, and the stiffness that had accompanied her for years was gone. It wasn't a miracle. It was a collapse. When the body received permission to stop waiting, it stopped following the timeline. In 5 days, the mobility that medicine had predicted would take months to return came back completely. Lynn didn't heal gradually. She healed the moment she stopped measuring the time it would take to heal. What changed wasn't the body, it was the frequency the body had been obeying. This shift must be sealed. The body registers transformation through traceable physical markers. Pay attention to the signs. The breath finally reaching the abdomen without getting stuck in the chest. The sensation of expansion in the center of the chest, as if something compressed had gained space. The release of the jaw, which you didn't even realize had been tense. The solar plexus less guarded, less defensive. These are signs that the command has been interrupted. Whenever you notice the return of the old pattern, the automatic checking, the mental measuring of symptoms, use the signal gesture. Touch your sternum with the palm of your hand and exhale slowly, 30 seconds. This gesture anchors the new state and interrupts the vibrational relapse. And if the pattern persists, use the reset point. The internal phrase, I choose presence. Not waiting, followed by a deep breath into the abdomen and an upright posture. This is not about willpower, it is somatic training. Something minimal, measurable, repeatable. Integration happens when the body realizes it no longer needs to stay on guard to feel safe. Healing was never far away. It was simply suspended in the wrong frequency. You didn't need to wait. You needed to stop broadcasting the command that sustained the waiting. Chronic illness is not a biological sentence. It is unconscious loyalty to linear time imposed by external conditioning. Each day you measured your symptoms, you renewed the contract. Each phrase about gradual improvement reinforced the timeline the body was required to follow. And the body, ever loyal, obeyed. Meister Eckhart once said, "Time is what keeps the light from reaching us." There is no greater obstacle to God than time. The light of regeneration has always been present, but you kept it on the other side of an artificial timeline. The problem was never the absence of healing, it was the presence of waiting. And waiting, as you now know, is not neutral. It is a vibration of suspension, a command to postpone. The divine is not something that needs to be summoned. It is a field of regenerative intelligence already active, already present, already in operation. God does not abandon, God waits for vibrational permission to act. And while you were broadcasting the frequency of waiting, that permission was blocked. Not as punishment, not as a test, but because the body can only receive what consciousness allows. And permission does not come from words, it comes from frequency. You spent years believing that healing needed time, but time was exactly what was preventing it. Regeneration happens outside of the timeline, in the collapse of the perception that sustains illness. In the very instant you shift your attention from measurement to presence. In that instant, the body can finally obey not an external schedule, but the internal intelligence that has always known how to restore, repair, and regenerate. What you've learned here is not a technique, it is a remembrance. Your body has always known how to heal. You simply taught it, without realizing, to wait. Now that the waiting has been interrupted, the body can finally do what it was born to do. And healing, which you believed to be far away, reveals itself for what it has always been, not a future achievement, but a present state, waiting only for you to stop postponing it. Chronic illness ends the moment you cancel the only command that was keeping it alive, the command to continue. If this content resonated with you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. That helps us expand this field of knowledge to those who are ready to receive it. I want to know how this interruption happened for you. Write in the comments. I release my body from waiting and allow healing to happen now. This phrase seals the frequency you've just reconfigured. It is a vibrational anchor, not just words. Share this video with someone you know is stuck in waiting. Someone who needs to remember that healing is not far away, it's simply suspended in the wrong frequency. And don't stop here. Click on the screen and dive into another transformative video from the channel. Each code you activate brings you closer to the reality your body was born to manifest. Remember, as long as you are waiting for healing, the body continues to obey the waiting. Healing only begins when you give up time and recognize presence.